Let me start with the latest on the diplomatic developments, the Pak-India relations. If it's cold, we can describe it as it's going on tensed. How do you describe, how do you evaluate the Pak-India relations at this time?
No, Pakistan-India relations, obviously there are statements emanating from New Delhi, which are kind of seen as an effort to ratchet up the tension. But Pakistan, being a responsible country, we know that it serves no purpose, and especially the purpose of peace, to ramp up the tension between our two countries. And we are trying to keep our cool and would not like to be provoked by statements coming from India. Relations between our two countries, as you know that following the Mumbai attack, our two countries are not talking to each other. The composite dialogue has come to a halt, and Pakistan is trying its best to that our two countries come back to the negotiating table, so that this vacuum, this space which has been created should not be exploited by those elements who do not want our two countries to come together and normalize relations. So we would not like any space to be given to those forces, those elements. So Pakistan will continue to sincerely making efforts towards first of all resuming the dialogue process between our two countries, and secondly to seeing that problems, disputes which continue to bedevil our relations are addressed and resolved in a peaceful manner.
You're talking of cool diplomacy, containing diplomacy. But on the other side, there are escalations. The latest statement by the Chief of the Army Staff of India, he said that he has the ability to attack India and Pakistan and China. How would diplomacy deal with such provoking statements?
Yeah, those statements were very unfortunate, and I think they were non-serious, and perhaps the Indian military leadership, as was said by our army chief, does not have the understanding of the military situation on ground. But as I said earlier, we would not like to be provoked by these statements. We know about our capabilities, and I think it is absolutely unhelpful to be talking about waging wars in a nuclear environment, because once a war starts, it is in anyone's guess how to control it from escalation. So we hope that India understands the hazards associated with waging even a limited war in this region, and refrains from making such provocative statements in future.
India lately has announced that they would buy military equipment and airplanes from Russia worth 1.2 billion. How do you see that?
We do have concerns because India already enjoys conventional preponderance over Pakistan, and there is conventional imbalance in South Asia. So we would ask all major powers to be not doing anything which disturbs the military balance in South Asia. As you would know that in addition to these conventional supplies by Russia to India, there is also talk of a nuclear deal between the two countries, a la US-India nuclear deal. So these discriminatory actions on the part of some major countries is complicating the security situation, stability situation in South Asia. So we would hope that these major powers would realize how dangerous it is to pursue these discriminatory policies, which may have some commercial benefits, but as far as peace and stability in South Asia is concerned, obviously these supplies do not help at all. So we would hope that these countries would revisit their policies in the long-term interests of peace and stability in South Asia.
Let me take you from Pak-India relations to Pak-US relations. There have been lots of diplomatic movement from the American and the Western sides to Islamabad. Why, especially in this time, and how do you describe all this movement?
Our relations with the US are turning for better. As you would know that we do have a history of problems in our relations with the US. But since President Obama has taken over, there are some positive developments taking place between our two countries. As President Obama said the other day, that he wants to have a long-term partnership with Pakistan based on mutual respect, mutual trust and mutual interest. So this gives us a very broad and well-defined, I would say, framework for strengthening our mutual relations. Then US also understands that Pakistan's role in bringing about long-term stability in Afghanistan is crucial, and it is important for our two countries to be on the same page as far as Afghanistan is concerned. So and then the US can also play a role vis-a-vis resolving our bilateral issues with India. For example, the Jammu and Kashmir dispute, which is pending for decades now. So US does have a role to play, and Pakistan also has a role to play. And I think our interests and our interests do converge in these areas. But then there are also issues of divergence as well. For example, drone attacks and US-India nuclear deal. Then this recent incident of enhancing security procedures for Pakistani nationals at airports. So there are real issues as well, but we are now moving towards establishing a relationship that has enough resilience to absorb all these divergences, as well as to have the capacity to overcome these problematic areas through dialogue and consultation. I can tell you that Pakistan and US, we have recently upgraded our level of strategic dialogue from secretary level to ministerial level, and the first round of that dialogue may take place in February or March this year, so in Washington. So things are moving in the right direction, and we hope that US would take more and more interest in Pakistan's long-term economic development as well, because in the past we had a unifocal relationship. Now Americans are showing interest in helping us in overcoming our economic problems, which have resulted from the long war in Afghanistan, because you would agree that we are coping with the legacies of the long Afghan conflict. And terrorism is a global issue, global phenomenon, and we all need to join hands in a cooperative engagement to overcome the issue of extremism and terrorism.
You talked of some divergence in the some maybe problems between the Pak-US relations. One is the drone attacks, and this drone attacks is one of the major concerns whether in the media and some observers. There are reports saying that there are unproclaimed agreement between between Pakistan and the US on drone attacks. But meanwhile, on diplomatic level, and the Islamabad is asking US to provide with the drones to have this the missions done, and instead of the American comes from the Afghan borders to do it there. How do you clarify these things because there are lots of confusions in fact on this issue. How do you clarify this for us?
As for the tacit agreement, it is absolutely incorrect, I can tell you. Now, drone attacks, the issue of drones involves two aspects. One is Pakistan, the issue of Pakistan's sovereignty. No country in the world would like any other country to violate its sovereignty. And the people of Pakistan and the government of Pakistan do take a strong exception to these recurrent violations by US drones. The second issue associated with drone attacks is that we need to see as to whether they are helping us in our struggle against terrorism, or these drone attacks are causing more problems in our struggle. We believe, we in Pakistan are of the view that these drone attacks may have killed 20 or 30 people, 20 or 30 militants, Al-Qaeda operatives, but they have also killed over 700 innocent people. And the collateral damage is so massive that it is not helping our efforts to win hearts and minds of the people of Pakistan and the people of this region. And without winning hearts and minds, we know that you cannot win against terrorism and extremism. So all these issues are intertwined. So accordingly, we have been discussing this with the US and asking them to share this technology with us, so we take care of these militants ourselves, as we have been doing, because we have captured or killed over 700 Al-Qaeda operatives, and we are capable of launching or undertaking operations against these people. And provision of drone technology to Pakistan would at least address one issue of sovereignty, and would not create unnecessary, avoidable resentment among the people of Pakistan. So we hope our discussions with the Americans continue, and we hope that they will come around our contention, and we would be able to work out a formula which is mutually satisfactory, and also does not in any manner compromise our collective efforts against terrorism.
Let me take you back again to Pak-India tensions, where has touched upon the sports issues, where the IPL issue has been come on the surface by the media and different. How do you evaluate that?
No, it's very clear from the statements made by the Indian leadership that this decision was influenced by variables extraneous to sports, and we hoped that the government of India would come forward and take some steps rectifying the wrong. But unfortunately, the Indian leadership once again got itself engaged into blame game, point scoring, and unnecessary rhetoric, and blaming Pakistan for everything. I think it is characteristic of India to always blame others for its own mistakes. So we have always hoped that sports should be kept separate from politics, but unfortunately this IPL episode clearly shows that India's historical animosity towards Pakistan continues, and they have not been able over the last so many years to dispense with their pathological, I say pathological animosity. And unless India does that, we do not see how our two countries can really resolve the bilateral disputes, including the Jammu and Kashmir dispute, including the water dispute, through dialogue and in a manner which is fair and justified. I think countries like Russia, US, who enjoy good relations with both India and Pakistan, they can play a role in nudging India towards dialogue, towards the process of the composite dialogue, which started in 2004, and we did produce some good results. So it is important for major countries like Russia and others to step forward and play their due role with a view to having peace and stability in this region.
Pak-Afghan relations, Islamabad and Kabul are also, if we can say that also there is a blame game happening there. Pakistan is saying that there are some elements coming from the Afghan side and operating in the tribal area and Balochistan, which causing harm to the national interest of Pakistan and also obstacling the operations which is going on the western border. How do you tell us about that?
No, I think Pakistan-Afghanistan relations have come a long way forward. Since we signed a joint declaration on 6th of January 2009. Since then, our two countries have lowered the public rhetoric, and we do not now blame each other for what is happening along our international border. We do understand, both our countries, that cooperation between Kabul and Islamabad is absolutely imperative in order to deal with multi-dimensional issues of extremism and terrorism. So our relations with Afghanistan have improved a lot. Pakistan is playing an important role, not only in the context of taking actions against extremists and militants present in our area on our side of the border, but we are also playing an important role in the reconstruction and development of Afghanistan. We have committed close to $300 million for development projects in Afghanistan. Over 6,000 Afghan nationals are getting education in Pakistan. There are 3 million Afghan refugees which are being hosted by us. Pakistan has an advantage over other countries to be more active in reconstruction of Afghanistan. And then we have, a flourishing bilateral trade, which is now close to around $1.6 billion. So Afghanistan is an important country for us, and Pakistan is important to Afghanistan. And our relations are complementary. They can be of great help to both of us, mutually beneficial. And we also understand that peace in Afghanistan, how peace in Afghanistan is important for our relations, especially economic and commercial relations with the Central Asian republics. So I think now and recently, as you would know, just last week, there was a trilateral summit between foreign ministerial meeting between Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And that went very, very well, and our three countries once again reiterated their commitment that we would not interfere in each other's internal affairs, and we would not even allow our territories to be used for interference in each other's affairs. So these are very positive developments which have taken place in the last 1 year, and now we are very much satisfied the way our relationship is developing within Afghanistan. I can tell you that it is an upward trajectory, and because we enjoy historical relations with Afghan, with this country, there were times when people, and still people, cross borders, without much of a difficulty. 30 to 40,000 people cross border every day at 3 different known crossing points. So we have no other option, our two countries, but to have friendly, trustworthy, and good relations between our two countries.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very kind.